Okay, Putin moves south. Struggle for the Eurasian heartland. Great game. Really, really like what I'm seeing here. But some things are emerging that I just did not see coming. But first of all, before I forget, since I forgot last time, we've got the BM-21 multiple rocket launcher on the truck there, on the three axle, 6 wheels. Looks like a 6-wheeler truck there. 122 millimeters, range 45 kilometers. Now in this case, I wonder what the actual impact target area that this BM-22 can cover. What the target area is for a full salvo. Yeah, interesting. Okay. So this is what's going on. It's the coalition side, and boy, I keep looking down at my coalition staging area, and it's amazing how hard it is to get this staging area filled. So I basically have only about a third of my assets in the staging area, 2/3 still in the reinforcements area. Whereas the Russians, it's reversed. They have about maybe 60% in their staging area, 40% in their reinforcement area. What's important about that, since I'm just explaining it verbally, what's important is that you're buying these. Oh yeah, everything is very variable, which is great. I actually like the variability. I understand how some war gamers might not, but you're paying an action point to deploy a reinforcement group, then you're rolling a die. And I know that so far in the game, I know I've rolled 1, and I know I've rolled 5s and 6s, so that can be a big difference in the amount of forces you get into play and when you get them into play. So a lot of variability there, but you're paying to pull in your reinforcements. I mean, you're paying for your ground units, which are deployed on the map, and then you're essentially buying or paying for your special forces and your air units and your missile units. You're buying those to put them in your staging area. Okay, so there's that. So bottom line is, what is it? It's early in the second turn. It's the coalition action. By the way, action point cost chart. Usually rolling 2 die. There's a possibility of rolling 3 dice. You're adding to that the number of major bases. This is a major base right here. It's got the soldier outline, soldier silhouette in black. Yeah. Minor base is a silhouette in yellow, but a soldier silhouette in black is a major base. So you're adding the number of major bases under your control, and that is the number of action points you have, to a max of 18 though. To a max of 18. That again is also highly variable. I mean, you could roll 3, or you could roll 18. That's another thing that I'm noticing is interesting, the flow of the action, because like in the first turn, the coalition got roughly about 50% more in total action points. Not 50%, maybe between 30 and 40% more action points. No, not even that. Maybe closer to 25-30. Anyways, that ratio is basically switched now in the second turn. I'm looking, yeah, it is. Actually, it's closer to about 45% more action points. So, and those are dice rolls. Those are dice rolls. Those are not fixed. And so that ebb and flow. I'm sorry. It is an ebb and flow because you have to buy. You're buying your moves. You're buying your attacks. You're buying your reinforcements. And most importantly, I would say, most important of all. So like this fighter, you're buying let's see. Well, yeah, you're buying if you want to use this for an air operation. You're not paying for it to use it in CAS, close air support, but in a sense you are also paying for it. So like you commit this to an attack for CAS. When it's done, it goes to the reinforcement area. Well, as long as you have the action points, you can buy it right back. So you're buying it again. You're moving it from reinforcement area to your staging area, and it can go right back in again and do another CAS. There's no limit. There is no, you have X number of units in play, and each of those units can do a fixed amount each turn period. No. But actually, really, you have a number of units in play, but what they can do and how much they can do is actually a function of action points, which I like. I like that a lot. I think there are different ways, well, I won't talk about variants, but there are other ways to do that. But anyways, my point is, there's this, appears to be this cool cycling effect, right, where basically you can commit a lot of your assets, and by assets I mean again the SF, primarily the SF and air units, soft units and air units. You can commit those to a number of actions or attacks and get some pretty sure, not really sure, but get some high probability of causing damage to the enemy. But then all those forces are then cycled into your reinforcement area, and getting them back is not even automatic. Well, yeah, no, not really automatic. I mean, for your soft units, you're rolling a die, and that's the number of turns forward you're getting those back. Again, the air units, you're putting them back in the reinforcement area, you're buying them to come back, but when you buy a reinforcement group, you're rolling a die again. So in other words, if I commit 6 assets, let's just say 6 air units to an attack, that is a huge, oh, and here's the other interesting thing, which is what is emerging now, is I don't think this is very good for solitaire. I really don't. Because you commit 6 air units to an attack, that's a huge shift in your favor. Except, it's not a huge shift in your favor if the opponent were able to and chose to commit 6 air units as well. I mean, that just counteracts everything. So it is no longer a big sway. Anyways, but let's just say let me go back to the cycling. You're committing those 6 air units, right? When they're done, they are going to the reinforcement area. You pay 1 action point to get a reinforcement group back. Then you roll a 1, and you get 1 of those air units back to the staging area. So with variability, with the die roll, you could basically you could be cycling through the availability of your combat power in a highly variable manner. So basically what I'm saying is you could be caught with a ton of your forces stuck either forward on the turn track if they're soft, or in the reinforcement area if they're air, and you with very few units in your staging area, and just as likely the enemy winds up having a lot in their staging area, and then they will be able to get really, well, basically powerful attacks. Now, everything that I'm saying here seems to hinge on this not knowing what you're committing, and that's the solitaire problem.